Okay, hi everyone. Good good afternoon, a good day to everyone, and welcome to this office Node.js office we'll be having today. Please, if you can hear me, just indicate on the chat box. You can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, hi everyone. Good afternoon, good day to everyone. This office Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Now that it's been established that you can hear me, okay, well, we'll begin. Okay. So my name is Samuel, and I'm the backend Node.js mentor for this program, I4G and Zuri training 2022, the second cohort. Okay, cohort 2. And I'll just be going through a lot of some of the questions that we already have. We can mind you, this is not a class. This is just an office hour where an opportunity where we can I can answer your questions at real time. Okay, or you understand? Answer your questions at real time. So I believe everyone has seen the form that is available. Okay, you can ask your questions through that form. That form is just for a week, just for week 1. I'm sorry about the last class. We had technical issues, but that has been sorted. So from henceforth, we'll be having a smooth ride. Okay, so I will just go over the questions we have. Is there anyone still having issues with calendar? There's a lot of questions surrounding the calendar. Is there anyone still having issues with calendar? Okay. Okay. I believe the issues with calendar has been sorted. For those who are looking for the link ought to be provided for you. It's supposed to be provided for you as you set up your account. Just do the task that is made available to you during the program. You will encounter the link as you go. Okay, so you edit your profile, you set up your profile on the LMS. Okay, and you just continue like that, doing each task. There's a calendar task, and the link to the class, to the calendar is there. Okay, the form I'm talking about is a form whereby you ask your questions. Okay, the questions, technical questions or questions about the program, but strictly on Node.js. Okay, and strictly on the topic we are doing for the week, or the courses we're doing, the topics we're covering for the week. Okay, because most times it's not just only one topic we're doing per week. Sometimes we have 2 to 3 topics we'll be doing every week. But just basically on the topic we're handling for that week, you ask your questions on that Google form. And the Google form is posted on the LMS. It's on the LMS. Okay, it's already available to both those in Node.js and those in front-end and Node.js. Okay, so it's already available to all of you. Okay, so we'll go on with the questions. Okay, I don't have basic knowledge of programming, and the classes we have are as clear as possible. Okay, and that's why you have to build have a foundation from now. Okay, you're going to be building on previous knowledge. Every topic, everything we'll be learning per week will be okay. Let me just give you this instance. What we'll be learning next week will be building on your knowledge of this week. that kind of thing. And what we'll be learning next 2 weeks will be building on your knowledge of next week and this week, like that. So it's progressive. You're building on the knowledge you have acquired before. So that's how we would go on. For those who have that Slack invite the Slack invite is not only valid for those that have Zoom email. It's you don't need Zoom email to log in. When you are having such encounter, it means that the link has expired. It was explained during the onboarding process. The link has expired, and then the link will be refreshed, and a new link will be sent to you. Okay, and you can use the new link to go on Slack. Okay, so I would like to continue. Do I need prior knowledge of front end before? No, you necessarily do not need any prior knowledge of front end before attempting or going into back end. Okay. Back end, front end, you can learn them independently, or you can start from one and then go to the other. Okay. So we have people that are just fully back end, that have been back end engineers for 15 years and they didn't dabble into front end. You have people that have been front end and they didn't dabble into back end, but you have people that just progress from back end to front end. That's all that's from front end to back end. So whichever way they can stand independent of each other. Okay. I can't find the calendar, still calendar. I think the calendar thing has been sorted. If you're still having issues with the calendar link, please can you just put it on the chat so that I can be aware of that. Okay. And for the Slack, when will the Slack link invite the valid one? When will the new link be out? Okay, you just have to keep on trying. Okay, you just have to keep on trying. I would suggest if you could try every 15 minutes, it would help you realize if you're just on your system. If you're on your system, you can try every 15 minutes. If you're on your phone, you can try, except you're doing something important. Okay, so you try, go do something on other things that you wanted to do, and then when you just get back, you try again. For sure, if you do it like that, within today, you'll be able to gain access to the Slack workspace. Okay, and will the class on Zuri give me full knowledge about backend, or will I need to study? Okay, I'll just come here. I don't think there is any program I have done. Okay, any program I have done so far, Zuri included. Okay, and that would give you. I don't think there's any program out there that will give you full knowledge. And what Zuri will give, what this program is going to give you is set you up for success. Basically, give you the requirements, what you need, the knowledge you need, the expertise you need to build on. Okay, and then it's up to you to blossom, basically. Okay. If you can still hear me, can you indicate on the chat box? Okay, I just want to make sure that we are all going together. Okay, while I wait for that response from you guys, I would go on. Okay, thank you for that response, Samuel. Okay, kindly help to explain the command line interface. Okay, thank you so much. For command line interface, the CLI, basically just know it's more like it's more like a text-based user interface used to run programs. Okay, so instead of you running programs through clicking, you basically clicking and clicking, or you want to let's take for instance, you want to create a document on Microsoft Word. Okay, and then you open Microsoft Word, you click on Microsoft Microsoft Word desktop icon. You go into Microsoft Word, and then mostly they will tell you, okay, do you want to create a new document, or do you want to go to all the already created documents and give you some templates, and you just say, okay, new documents. You're clicking your way into creating a new document or starting to work with Microsoft Word. You're basically clicking your way through. Okay, what the command line interface gives you is you're not clicking your way through, you are writing commands your way through. So you write commands instead of clicking. Okay, so that's what the CLI basically is all about. So it's text-based. You write commands instead of clicking your way through. So I want to open Visual Studio Code. Instead of me to click on Visual Studio Code, the Visual Studio Code icon, I basically write code and then space, full stop on my terminal, and it takes me to Visual Studio Code, that kind of thing. So that what CLI basically does, and that's what it is. But for this, and the entire program will be majorly using Visual Studio Code. Okay, we'll be using Visual Studio Code as a text editor. There are other text editors we have, even your think in Windows, they have your notepad. Yes, your notepad on Windows is a text editor. Okay. But we're using Visual Studio Code as the main text editor for this, for most part of the program. We're using another text editor online, which is called Replit. At the initial stage, at the beginning, but later we will dive into using VS Code fully, and we will just remain there at VS Code. VS Code is very robust. Okay? It has so many plugins that actually make it fun and easy to go about programming, okay, and coding in general. Is it the PowerShell you linked with GitHub or VS Code? Because when you were doing it, you didn't share the screen. Okay, it was my VS Code I linked with GitHub. Okay, we will talk more on this. Okay, we'll talk more on this later. But basically, it's my VS Code I linked with GitHub. I think by the time we start using GitHub, the first class, by the time we start using, when we start using VS Code, the first class we'll be having, when we want to start using VS Code, I'll walk you through those steps. Okay, I did the last time, linking your GitHub to VS Code. Okay, for the background noise, really, I apologize for the background noise for the last class. Okay, just where I am at the moment. But it's going to improve. Definitely, it will improve. You have a better, let's say, session experience. Okay, you have a better session experience as we go forward. Okay. The next question. Okay, how do you set up your system for this course? Basically, for now, you just, what the setup you'll be needing is Git. Okay, do the other one, your calendar, your Slack, your LMS, every other task you have in those places. Do those ones, and then do your Git. Okay. Next week we'll go into another setup for Node.js, still your system. Okay. I wouldn't want to go into next week's topic. Okay, but definitely there are other things you will need to set up as we go forward. Okay, but yes, you need to install Node.js, definitely. I will look for Okay, still the same question. Okay, you missed the first task. Okay, for that, I don't think there's anything I can do. Okay, we can do at this point if you missed any task, like it was said in the onboarding during the onboarding process. Task will not be reopened after they've expired. After, if you missed any task, you missed it. Okay, there won't be this opportunity to reopen task, at least to the best of my knowledge. I think that's what is being agreed on. Okay. What resources do you need? I think for the calendar issues have been sorted. So what resources do you need for this program? You will need your PC, you will need a stable internet connection, and then you will need your time, your grades, your time and grades, okay, throughout the program, because you would need to, not every time you watch, you could be watching a video, okay, online, watching one of our classes, and something obviously worked for the tutor. Okay, he typed a command and the command worked, he did this and did that, and it was just going like that. And you try to just replicate it. In fact, you're having this video side by side, you shared your screen, video in one corner, and then your text editor in the other corner. And you're doing exactly everything that you see the tutor doing, and then it doesn't work for you. Well, you have to find a way through it. Okay, it may just be that there's a setting that you do not have, that may not just be in line, or versions of packages that you need to install on its particular version, but you have to just check through it. Google it. Google is your friend. You Google it, and then you okay, I'll just give you basically how to figure out bugs as you encounter bugs, but that's one of the things you would encounter bugs. So you Google it, okay? If you don't know, if it's something you're new to, it's something that you're sure it's your first time of doing, or you're not really strong in doing it. If you're really strong in doing it, you can go through your code first. You go through your code, you insert breakpoints, do some tests. Those ones, okay, that's if you're already proficient in what you're doing, okay? But beginners, you Google it, okay? Google the error, basically just copy the error as it is and paste it on Google and see the results you have, okay? Check the results that have been listed, the options that be given to you in Google, check them, go through them, implement some of the generally accepted solutions, implement them. If it doesn't work, try Googling it again. Make sure maybe you didn't present you didn't ask Google well, you didn't present the order of your language structure to Google wasn't done well. So you will Google it again in another form, get the whatever Google gives you, the solutions, try to implement it. If it doesn't work, ask one of your colleagues, and that's why the Slack community is there. Okay, we use Slack for community. Okay, but LMS is the interaction between your mentor, and you, the participant, is basically going to be on the LMS. The interaction between the program coordinators and you is going to be on the LMS. But for you guys, you can come together on Slack and just ask the question on Slack and see what you have to say about it. Okay, if you're not getting the required answer, you and your friend should go on Google and Google again. After Googling again and you don't get the answer, then that's when the mentor can now be reached out to. Okay, basically, that is the fundamental steps of programming to make you a better programmer, so you won't be too dependent on mentors. Okay, but one of the things that privileges you have in this program is, since it's a fast-paced program, you could easily just reach out to me, your mentor, if you have any issues. Okay, just put it there on Slack. If someone has something to say about it, the person will say, there's nobody, definitely I would step in to answer your questions. Okay. Please, are you guys following? Are you guys still following? I'd like to get the interaction on the chat box. Are you guys still following me? Okay, and do you understand what I've been saying? Okay. I will just answer a question I'm seeing on the YouTube live chat. Okay, you're proficient in. Okay, if you're going for NYC, definitely it would affect your participation in the program. If you're going next week, definitely will affect your participation in the program. But don't you worry, okay? Hopefully, we would have another training early next year. Hopefully, next year we'll be definitely, hopefully we'll be having another training. Okay, and then the resources are still with you. Okay, by the time you come back from camp, I think camp is 3 weeks. By the time you come back from camp, yes, you may be behind on task and all that. Okay, but I want you to remove your mind away from task, that basically having a score on Zuri. I want you, for you now, it has to now be about knowing stuff. Okay, so you have to come on the LMS, watch videos, and just know stuff, know what we're talking about, know the Node.js, okay, and how to implement it as a backend tool. Okay, so you do that, but basically following through the program, that you have points that may not be possible because you must have lost like a task of 3 weeks. Okay, and really won't be able to help with that. What we are trying to make everything. The program is just basically 10 weeks program. Okay, so if you miss any tasks, that'll be it. For the person that asked that is very proficient in Node.js and how do you to build your portfolio, what I would tell you is projects build portfolios. Projects build portfolios. So if you're already good, if you already have a level of proficiency in Node.js, go on and do projects. When you want to get a job, what we'll be looking out for is what can you do? And they don't want you to write what you can do, like list them like I know TypeScript, I know TypeScript, I know JavaScript, I know Node.js, I know MongoDB. In fact, I'm a full stack main developer. I know AWS, I know Azure, I know Google Cloud, I know Linux. Basically, they don't want to see it written. What they want to do is to show us how you apply this knowledge that in quotes you have. What have you applied it to doing? So that's what people want to know. I think everybody should just take notes as you go through the program. What should be at the back of your mind is, what are the projects I'll be doing? We have a project phase. There's also a project that is included in your curriculum. Okay, as you go through, you'll be seeing you will see a project. There's a project that's attached that you'll be building on. Week by week, you'll be building on those projects. But those projects, what you basically you're building on those projects week by week, and then by the end of the week you should have something tangible to say, okay, this is the, outside the learning I've been doing, this is the projects that I was able to do, and then coupled with the project phase, you will have something tangible to say, okay, I've got 2 projects already, or 3 projects as the case may be. Okay. Please, when using Git in VS Code, which one is better? Okay, VS Code terminal or Git length? Okay, VS Code, I don't really get this question, because Git length is an extension in VS Code. It does not obstruct the use of Git, but rather it enhances the use of Git in your VS Code. So you can have Git installed and all that in your VS Code, and the Git length extension basically just helps you to know who did what. Okay, you will see it written in your VS Code that this person made a change, and this person that wrote this line of code was written by this person. This line of code was written by this person. This line of code was written by this person. Especially when you're working in the team. Okay, that Git length is basically helpful. Your VS Code terminal is not fast, it's very slow. I'm not supposed to be answering this question, but I'll just answer it because it looks like a tool related question. The VS Code is a tool, it's just a tool, it's not really the programming. So it's slow, and it's slow. Your VS Code could be slow, your terminal, your VS Code could be slow because of your system memory. Okay, the configuration of your system, the spec of your system. That's what I would say. Have higher specs of system, your VS Code would run faster, your terminal, your VS Code would run faster, obviously. Okay. Your task won't be graded, all tasks will be graded. Okay, all tasks will be graded. Hopefully, before the end of the weekend, all tasks will be graded, and you'll be able to know where you stand by the end of the week. Okay. Okay, you're talking about examples of projects do you think we can work towards? Okay, I think this is early stages. Okay, I don't want you guys to see projects and see things and then get discouraged. So I'll just encourage you to walk through the program, okay, as it is, where we are at the moment. And this is just week 1. We're just talking about, we're not started talking about JavaScript, and we're not talking about Node.js. We're just talking about Git and what is programming. Just get the concepts. Get the concept of Git, know what Git is, know how to use Git, know how to install Git, what is programming, and that's all that is required for this week, basically. Nothing much, nothing more. Okay, so I don't want us to go further. I know most of you are advanced, and I don't want the other people to feel left out. Okay, so I would restrict answering questions outside this week. We'll be using a lot of frameworks. Okay, Node.js is a framework under JavaScript, but we'll be using Express.js as we go forward. Okay. Okay, you will learn how the backend works as a whole. Definitely, you will learn how the backend works as a whole when we're about to enter Node.js proper. Okay, so the curriculum, I cannot give you the curriculum, but I can just give you a peek into what the curriculum looks like. Okay, so by the way, most of the videos most of the classes are still being uploaded on the LMS, and hopefully by next weekend, not this weekend, by next weekend, you will be able to view at least from week 1 to about week 5 or week 6 of the curriculum, what the curriculum is like. Okay, for week 1 to week 6, we're able to have access to the videos, to have access to the content from week 1 to week 6 Okay, and there's that you have access to it does not mean you should do it. Okay, if you skip week 2 and you go and say, okay, you want to watch week 4 and week 5, and then you fail to do week 2 task because you didn't go through week 2 content or resources, well, the joke's on you. Okay, we really do not have anything. So just follow through with 1, with 2, with 3. We're doing it like that because you know that some people that are fast learners. So with 1, they can easily exhaust the resources. They go to week 2. In 2 days, they're done with week 2. In 3 days, they're done with week 3. And just you can just go like that, okay? And until you eventually get to a place whereby maybe you want to stay on, explore, and then before continuing, that can be done. Ima, you have to rephrase your question. I don't get what you say when you say, what do you say we're going to use? We're going to use different things. Okay. JavaScript, we're using JavaScript programming language, we're using VS Code. We're going to be using Node.js framework. We're going to be using Express.js at some point. Okay. We're going to be using Webplates, an online code editor. Okay. So I think my question, I should have answered the question with all these things I've listed. So you will learn a lot about backend and what backend entails, the HTTP response. Okay, you will learn all those things definitely as we want to enter Node.js. So the steps is we're going through installation steps now. Okay, knowing concepts, foundational concepts, fundamentals. After that, we'll go into the programming language called JavaScript. Okay, we'll be extensively cover JavaScript to a required knowledge. Okay, so you're going to get at least the minimum required knowledge to enter into Node.js. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to JavaScript, and yes, we'll talk about object-oriented programming. Okay, we'll talk about that. Object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming, when you say going in depth, it's a concept. Once you understand the concept of object-oriented programming, you know the attributes or the properties or the attributes of object-oriented programming and how it works, how these attributes works. You are good to go. And I don't see anyone when you say in-depth, I really do not get, okay. But once you just understand what object OOP is, you can basically go on with, but like I said, minimum required knowledge for Node.js. That's what we'll be looking at. Yes, we'll go above the minimum, but the whole idea is that you should be able to get at least the minimum required knowledge to be able to proceed to doing Node.js. Okay. Okay, what exactly is Node.js? Okay, basically Node.js is a framework in JavaScript, a framework of JavaScript, yes, and it's basically used to build the server side of a web application. Okay, so Node.js is basically used to build the server side of a web application. So you have the front end side, which shows you the design, the buttons, what you interact with. Okay, front end gives you all that. The back end is when I click this button, what happens? Where's the information coming from? Whatever information is going to be displayed on the next page, where is it coming from? That's the server side, that's back end, and that's what Node.js, what we'll be covering in Node.js. Okay. You had for the person having a password authentication error, I think this is when you wanted to link your terminal or your Visual Studio Code to GitHub. And yes, they are done. I think at some point last year, GitHub basically, GitHub ended that whole using password. Okay, so the way to go is using an SSH key. Okay, I would then drop a link. I will drop a link, okay, on the chat box for you, for that person wanting to connect GitHub VS Code to GitHub, okay, and they're asking for that your password authentication is not working. If your password authentication is not working, you have to use SSH, and I'll drop a link for you that would help you just go through the steps. Just go through the steps on the link, and you would be fine. Okay, I think the link is already there. So how do we install Git? Okay. I think the installation of Git should be in the video, okay, and the resource you have, okay. You can install it using whatever was said in the resource you have, but if you okay, if you still want I will just post the link. I'll just post the link of where you can find the installation of Git. But like I said earlier in the last video, last office hour session we had, you can easily just use Google, and Google will help you do those things. Okay. The link has been for the installation of Git, and I'll try to run faster. Okay. Okay, so the person that is having an error adding repository from your local computer to GitHub, it's likely if it's just that command that is not working, it's likely that you're not connected. You're using the terminal, okay. Basically, you're not connected to GitHub via that terminal, except you're using Git bash. Okay, if you're using Git bash, I don't think you need that. You will still need the connection. Yeah, you need to know that but basically, you would have to use the command for it is git remote add origin, git remote add origin, and then the URL of the, I'll just type it here, git remote add origin, and then the URL of your repository, repo URL. Okay, and then when you press enter, you'll be able to add. If you're having an error, it means you have to go to that connection process, and that's when you will need the SSH document, the document I posted of authenticating with SSH. You would need it. Okay. Like I said, you don't need a Zoom email to go into Slack. What you just need is to be patient. The link will be refreshed and you'll be able to go through it. But still, I would advise you to watch there should be videos on how to log into the workspace. There should be materials already available on the LMS. So you should go through that material. Okay. yes, we're making use of some Node.js libraries as we go forward. Okay, deep into the program. I won't want to mention any of the libraries we're making use of, but yeah, definitely we're making use of some Node.js libraries. Okay, when you have a conflict on Git or in Git, okay, one of the things, reasons why, okay, the standard procedure, okay, when you're working in the team and you want to push your codes to the repository, the team repository, okay, the standard procedure is to pull the codes in your team repository first, pull the codes, fetch the codes. There's a command for it, git pull or git fetch. You pull the codes there, add it to your own before you push what you have. So now what you have now is basically you're making the codes in your computer to be in sync with what is on the cloud. I'll put it in GitHub cloud. Okay, that GitHub repo, I will just make it over. What's on the GitHub repo? Let me not make things complicated. What is on the GitHub repo? You want to make what's on your computer in sync with what is on the GitHub repo. So you put what is on the, even though you were just the person that just worked, you just put it 5 minutes ago and then you decide to make a change. The ideal thing is first pull or fetch what is on the GitHub repo first. You fetch it to your local system. If you say everything is okay, there's no additional, then just make sure that there's no conflict when you pull. If there's no conflict when you pull, the chances of having a conflict when you push, finally. So you pull first and then you push. When you push your codes to GitHub will be slim. Chance of conflict will be very, very slim. And if there are conflicts, you have to fix the problem. And, there are so many issues. There are so many reasons why you may have merge conflicts, but it has to be fixed before you can eventually push. Are we going to learn about the main stack? No, we're not going to learn about the main stack. While we are not providing a Zuri internship, there's nothing like Zuri internship. What we do in Zuri is training. However, I would advise you to HNG. There's also another popular likely training organization. There's also another popular organization called HNG, and HNG does internship every year. I think the link is still on. The link came out on Monday, and I think the link is still. You can register for that. But then it's going to be divided as well. Because like at some point, the two programs overlap. Okay, at some point the two programs overlap. So I'll just advise that you just stick with the training if you're new to programming. Okay, just stick with the training. Do you have any task? Yes, you do have a task. You have the calendar task, that task. Okay, and don't worry about those having a core Node.js task or a core programming task, like something to do to keep your hands dirty. You know that you want to go into real work. Don't worry, you have a lot of that coming. Okay, this is just introductory. I don't want to just in Node.js for me personally, I just feel it just get conversant with the environment, get conversant with things, know how things are done, know how things operate, and then next week we'll start off really. Okay, but yes, you have tasks if that what you. I'm not doing anything basically that month. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just answering questions. Okay. Yeah, and it's HNG, not HND. Okay, I'll just type it in the HNG internship. Okay, so it's another organization that holds trainings basically, or that I won't say they hold trainings, but they are passionate about helping people go into tech and succeed. Okay. Oluchi, please, can you, if you're on Slack, can you contact me on Slack? Okay, so that I'll be able to, I really don't understand what's going on, but can you contact me on Slack so that I can be able to know exactly what is going on? Okay, we'll be having classes basically Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for now. So these are times we're having classes. Not, I think Tuesdays and Thursdays is 2 to 3, like we have now. Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think Mondays and Fridays, the timing is different, but definitely you will get to know about it. Okay. I thought HND works with Zuri. Well, that's the idea. Just that's the idea. At some point, yes, different organizations can work together to achieve a common goal or a common goal, but they are independent organizations. They operate separately. Okay, I'm not supposed to be answering questions on that. Okay, and yes, full stack guys will have to do both front end and back end course. That is the burden you have to bear for volunteering for full stack. Okay, that's the burden you have to bear. The programming language you'll be learning is not Node.js. The programming language you'll be learning is JavaScript. As you progress, definitely you'll get to know, and we'll start learning JavaScript by next week. Okay. We've not started anything as regards Node.js yet. Okay, so if you're just joining, it's good. Basically, this week is for people joining. By next week, we'll start the programming language, and then we'll proceed from there and enter into Node.js. Your CMD version is showing Node version 16.7. That means you have Node.js installed already. Okay, and yes, it has already been downloaded and installed. Okay. I think, okay, OS, you can use any OS that you have. Okay, when I mean any OS, I just I'm talking about the 3 major OSs we have. So you have Windows, you have the Mac, and you have the Linux. Basically, these are the 3 OSs that have support. Okay. The whole idea is, if you have any issue, okay, you could easily go to Google and ask the question, place the issue there, and you will have a solution, because there's a community around these 3 OSs. Okay, there's a support system around these 3 OSs. Anything about outside these 3 OSs, as just mentioned, it may be pretty difficult to find solutions to issues you'll be facing throughout the program. Okay. As a newbie, is it feasible? People have a different learning pace. Some people are fast learners, some people are slow learners. So I may not be able to give you that this is how it's going to be. This is how it works every time. But one thing I know is that you would require a lot of time, you know, to learn front end and back end at the same time. As a newbie, you will need time, a lot of time. You have to devote a lot of time, and you have to do it every day. There have to be the daily grind. Okay, I think there's a question here that says, how can I be successful, be a good developer and be successful? Okay, one of the ways you can do is be successful is grind, have a daily grind. You know, every day you're working on it. Every day you're learning something new about Node.js, about backend, okay, about programming. Every day you're learning something new. Every day you're on your system. Okay, so What difference? Okay, I think this will be the last question I'll be taking. What's the difference between git clone, git fetch, and git pull? Okay, git clone is basically you're taking whatever is on your GitHub repo, your GitHub repository online. You're taking it and bringing it into your local system. When I say local system, I mean your PC now, your laptop. Okay, you're taking it and bringing it into your laptop so that you can be able to work on it on your laptop. Okay, with your laptop memory, not just on your laptop, but with your laptop memory. So when you clone it, it's going to take an amount of storage in your laptop storage, maybe 1 MB, 512 KB, as the case may be. Okay, that what cloning is. Okay, and then git fetch is taking okay, git clone is when you are having it in your local memory. Git fetch is you trying to update whatever. Git fetch and git pull, they work almost, they do almost the same job. Okay, but basically you're trying to update whatever is on your local machine with what is online. I used to call it GitHub Cloud because yes, it's a cloud. In GitHub, on your GitHub repo. Okay. So you're trying to update what's on your local machine. So you've done something and you don't know who has pushed, fetched and pushed or pulled and pushed. So you have to just update what is there with your local machine before you then push your codes. So yeah, GitHub repo. There's courses will be coming out weekly. Okay, you will see courses with 1 course, with 2 courses, with 3 courses, with 4. So yes, there will be courses that will be coming out weekly. But if you're talking about an outline, I don't understand when you say an outline, like what you should read. Once you just get the post for a week, you're meant to go through everything that's in that post. You're meant to go through everything to be able to get a better grasp of what we're doing. Just start from the top. Okay, it's going to be arranged from top to bottom, that kind of arrangement from top to bottom. So if you are looking for that outline, it's going to be top to bottom. Okay. Okay, definitely there's no written outline for you, but the courses will be available and the posts will be available. So what you will just see is, like I said, before the end of next week 1 to week 5 should be on the LMS, that kind of thing. Before the end of next week, not this week, but next week 1 to week 5 will be on the LMS. So you go there, you have an idea of what you'll be learning from week 1 to week 5. I think that's sufficient. And before you get to week 5, you already know what you will learn from week 5 to the end or week 6 to the end, as the case may be. Okay. Thank you so much for staying with me. Can I just hear hi? I said git pull. I said git pull works almost does the same the same function as git fetch. Almost the same function as git fetch. People use them interchangeably. Okay, and just closing this session, but just wanted to say hi on the chat channel. If you followed and you understood everything I said, just say hi, because we're about to end this session. Okay, I'm not getting any response. Say hi on this. Okay. Hope we understood everything that I said. You can just, if you understood, tell me you understood. Everything I said is understood. So I can just close out the section. Okay. Okay, like I said earlier, the training will last 10 weeks. Okay, this training is 10 weeks, including project phase. Including project phase, 10 weeks, everything. Okay, learning and then project phase, 10 weeks. Along the way, we will be using Postman. Yes, along the way, we'll be using Postman. Okay. Like I said, I don't want you to get bothered. When you get to the bridge, you cross it. Okay. Thank you for staying with me through this session. Thank you so much. I wish you a blissful day, a more productive day. Okay. And I wish you success in the program. Thank you so much.